One beer, two beers, three beers, four beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. Fighting with your wife, drink, driving, bombing, breathalyzer tests. Yes, you've seen the title. Dear Jeff Hardy. As much as there's a bit of comedy I'm doing, it's really not funny. This is what happens when I get nervous, when I'm really angry. I have to laugh because what is going on, Jeff? Now, I'm no one to you, Jeff. I'm just a regular guy who's a fan of Jeff Hardy. Well, I was one of the biggest fans of Jeff Hardy when I was a little kid. One of the biggest. And you're probably never going to see this video, but on the off chance that you do, on the off chance that you YouTube your name and you come across Dear Jeff Hardy by Savage Reactions and the Savage Nation, and you see the comment section, then maybe it'll get through to you. So, we've seen the news of Jeff Hardy being arrested for drink driving, and that's kind of nothing new with Jeff Hardy. He's clearly got issues. Now, I can always empathise with issues. People have addictions and traumas and whatever in their life, and I do not know about Jeff Hardy's personal life outside of wrestling. I try to stay away from wrestlers' personal lives, to be honest. But we're in an age where everything is publicised, everything's on social media, and I half wish it wasn't. You know, like there's so many wrestlers that you just, I don't know what it is. You start losing a bit of love for them when you realise what they're doing in their personal lives, whether it's domestic violence. And I say a bit of love. Listen, it's not my business, yeah. But what I do know is, we've seen that. I ignored it. It come up again, more news, and then it's like they get the description and the details of what went on when Jeff was arrested. I've got a few notes, but I don't really like to read off them anyway. So all I know is apparently there was complaints of drink driver. The car was the description of Jeff Hardy's car. When the police pulled up, that car was parked up outside of a liquor store. Jeff came out and he was holding 2 crates of beer or something like that, whatever. I think they let him drive on to make sure to see if it was him. And then when they noticed that the car was swerving in different lanes, they pulled him over. They gave him a regular breathalyzer test as he was. He bombed it. I heard he was resisting a bit as well. He had a bloody nose. And when the police asked him where he got the bloody nose from, the guy said it was from a fight earlier with my wife. Now, unless you're Ric Flair and you losing your mind, come on, show what you got, come on. That's the only way I can see you bursting the blood vessel in your nose from verbally fighting. So I'm guessing it was physical. And if it was physical, Jeff, and to be honest, I'd rather the rest of the story not come out so I can still hold that risk. Because if it was physical, boy, you've gone down in my estimation. But enough of that, because the police said they're not going to do anything about a domestic violence case unless there's a complaint from Jeff or his wife. So we'll leave that part, because this is about drink driving. But I just want to speak to Jeff Hardy as a man, as a human being, not as the WWE superstar that I loved my whole life. Because when I do that, it's hard to think straight. But just as a human, I have had many friends who have been knocked over. Some were lucky to get away with a broken leg. Some were not here. They're just not here. There's nothing more for me to say. They're not here anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, some of them were just people crossing the road and doing silly things, not looking where they're going, but I know I have one friend who died by the car of a drunk driver, should I say, and this guy was just over the limit. He knocked him over. I don't really want to get into details, but he drove off. He's in prison now. But that night, that day, he ruined his own life. He ruined mine. He ruined my friend's family's life. He ruined his own family's life. And he took away my friend's life. And I don't want to make this video about me. I'm just saying that if I'm one person, then it just shows that it can happen. And I bet in my comment section someone else is going to tell me that they've suffered at the hands of a drink driver, or a car of a drunk driver, should I say? And it's just not on, Jeff. It's not on. You're a grown man, and people become alcoholics, they become drunks or the like. But you're aware enough not to get into a car. And you know this because your license has been revoked, which means you don't have a license anymore. They took the license off you, so you couldn't do this. But you still took a car and drove. And the car apparently is yours. So, does the law not apply to you, Jeff? Because you can swanton bomb off a top rope. Because you can do the whisper in the wind off a cage. Do these rules not apply to you, Jeff? Because they do. And they're put in motion for a reason. There's certain laws that loads of people don't agree with. But the drink driving, I think that's one we all agree with. Now, I'm from England, and it's bad over here, but we live in a smaller country than America, much smaller. In fact, the state of Alaska, we could fit about 17 United Kingdoms in Alaska. That's one state. Now imagine the drink driving, because apparently from the stats shown in, I think it was like 2018, over 10,000 people not died by getting knocked over by a car, just a road accident, died by the cars of drunk drivers. 10,000. 29% of all road accidents caused by someone drinking too much, thinking they're above the law and getting in the car. Whether this person was nice in day-to-day life or was a scumbag, they still did it. And that's what I have with you. Now, the beautiful thing is, you've not hurt anyone yet. That is a beautiful thing, which means there's redemption. You can come back from this. Now, if I'm looking at the negatives, you don't seem to have learnt your lesson. And it's really bad. It's really bad. And it's the same with what I'm seeing with the Usos as well. Like the Greys. I keep bringing it back to wrestling because that's what it's about for me. That's how I was introduced to your life and the Usos' life. Greatest tag teams of all time. Both of them are my favourite tag teams of all time. What is going on? Seriously. Fix up. Fix up. Vince McMahon, do not let this guy back into the WWE. At all. Because this guy's a role model. He was a role model to me when I was a kid. He's a role model to my son now. And I've got to tell my son that Jeff's drink driving again. And I will tell him because I let him know what's going on in the world. But it's a shambles, Jeff. Now sort it out. Seriously. Sort it out. I've been your boy Hugo the Savage. Comment, like, subscribe and share.